Now, as the years went on, serious flaws started to appear in Jefferson's method of apportionment. So in 1842, Senator Daniel Webster introduced his method of apportionment. And his method is sort of a combination between Hamilton's method and Jefferson's method. So for this example, it states, a department store wants to conduct a satisfaction survey of 750 customers who purchase televisions from its stores. They want to apportion the survey according to the number of TV brands it sold in the past 6 months, as shown in the table. And you can see the table here. Here we have these different subgroups: LG, Vizio, Sony, Sharp, Samsung, and of course the populations associated to each one of those subgroups. So it says use Webster's method of apportionment to allot how many surveys are administered for each brand of TV. So Webster has a 4 to 5 step process. So his first step number 1, is determine a standard divisor and a standard quota, which is similar to both Hamilton's and Jefferson's method. So the standard divisor here, we have 750 customers. Those are the number of seats or the number of items. And we'll divide that into the population total here. So this comes out to be approximately 38.063. So now in order to determine the standard quota, we divide that into each one of the subgroups here. So we go ahead and rather than write in 38.063, I'm just going to write in as before standard divisor. So 8,146 divided by the standard divisor of 38.063. That comes out to be 214.014. Go to the next subgroup, the standard quota here. So we have 4,168 divided by 38.063. And this is 109.503. We keep going on down over here. We divide by the standard divisor here. So the standard quota for here is 222.578. Go to the next one. 5,958 divided by the 38.063. That's 156.53. And then the last one here, divide that by the standard divisor, and its standard quota is 47.369. Now this is where Webster's method differs. So for step 2, so for both the Hamilton and the Jefferson method, using the quota rule, they round down to the nearest integer. For Webster's method, when the fractional part is less than 0.5, round down. When the fractional part of the standard quota is greater than or equal to 0.5, then round up. That's just ordinary rounding. So as we look right here, 214, the 0.014, that's less than 0.5, so we round down to the nearest integer. That's 214. 0.503, that's greater than 0.5, so we round up. So we round this up to 110. This one here gets rounded up to 223. This gets rounded up to 157. And this gets rounded down to 47. We go ahead and add up 214, 110, 223, 157, and 47. And this adds up to 751 surveys. So we're 1 over. So then this is where Jefferson's method comes in for step 3. And of course, for step 3, we're going to use a modified divisor. Now, since we have a large amount of items here, 750, and we only have one more than that, when we go ahead and do our guess and check for our modified divisor, we don't want to make too big of an adjustment in our guess. Also, since this is over, we want to have a larger value than 38.063, but we have to be careful as far as what our adjustment is. So how about if we make this 38.07? We'll make our modified divisor 38.07. So with 38.07, we then come up with step 4, and that is come up with the modified quotas. So then we go through this again. So now we use our modified divisor here. I'm just going to mark it as MD. And now we're going to take 8,146 and we're going to divide it by our modified divisor here of 38.07. We wind up dividing this by 38.07 and we come out with 213.974. Divide this by our modified divisor and our modified quota. Well, 4,168 divided by 38.07. And this is 109.483. We do the same here for the next subgroup. This winds up being 222.537. The next one here, divide this subgroup by the modified divisor, and this comes out to be 156.501. And our last one here, the 1,803 divided by the 38.07, and this is 47.36. Again, if the fractional point, using the quota rule, if the fractional point is less than 0.5, we round down. If it's greater than or equal to 0.5, we round up. This gets rounded up. 0.974 gets rounded up, so this becomes 214. This gets rounded down to 109. This gets rounded up to 223. This gets rounded up to 157. Look at that. 0.501. So it gets rounded up. And this right here, 47.36, gets rounded down to 47. So if we go ahead and add up the 214, 109, 223, 157, and 47, and look at that. That comes out to 750. If this didn't work, if it came out to be 752 or 749 or something other than 750, step 5 we would repeat steps 2 through 4. But there we go.